Introducing your first challenger, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 10 wins and 5 losses. He stands 180 centimeters tall and weighs a ready 69.96 kilograms. Representing Ireland MMA Pro Team and fighting out of Kazlorda, Kazakhstan, please welcome challenger number 1, Kubanychbek VS Eskaraev. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. This man is a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 18 wins, 3 losses, and 1 no contest. He stands 178 centimeters tall and weighs a ready 70.06 kilograms. Representing Sport Club Ilas and fighting out of Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan, please welcome challenger number 2, Abdisalam Ulu Ovak Kubanychbek.
And is your man in the middle, one of the best in the business. This for the title. Both these men incredibly tough.
Kubanychbek's ring intelligence, which is a thing, is very, very high.
Fight IQ,
it takes most fighters a minute to 2 minutes to see where their opponent's at. He's closer to 15 seconds.
But Eskaraev cannot be discounted. He is as tough as they come. I've been in the workout room with him. He is incredibly strong. Again, very smart. But again, Kubanychbek just has that X factor, that intangible, that thing that makes him so dangerous and such a formidable opponent inside the Brave arena. Looks like he's trying to load up the right hand to parlay that into the shot.
Circling now to keep his foot in the outside of his opponent's foot. When he gets that and he gets the distance he wants, he's going to let that hand go.
Eskaraev needs to be wary of walking into that right hand. If he's forced to circle out to his left-hand side, which is the power side of Kubanychbek, he could get caught with that big right hand.
Eskaraev tried to land that jab over the shoulder. Very, very tough. When you're a southpaw and your opponent's in an orthodox stance, can be done, but tough, tough, tough to do.
Yeah, you kind of need to pat down that lead hand in order to land your jab.
Very smart to go to the body. Get your opponent's attention down a little bit. It's that much easier to land that shot to the head. And at fighters at this level, that shot to the head can end it on the spot.
Especially with these little 4-ounce gloves. You know, the guard that you would have in the likes of boxing or in the likes of Muay Thai is different because the glove will absorb a lot of the punishment. It's just not the case. We've seen it with kickboxers who try and transition to MMA. They leave these little pockets, these little gaps. Beautiful shot to the body there from Kubanychbek.
What you saw right there, Phil, that's a champion's mark. When somebody does something to you, you do it back to them better.
He's now getting Eskaraev to bite on his feints a little bit. Didn't land flush, but that right hand is dangerous. Both these men trying to soften up the body. Lead uppercut to straight combination from Kubanychbek. Seems the game plan is to soften up the body here for both men.
Both men are
they're mirroring
taking
one another.
They're taking the full measure of each other.
They're mirroring.
You do it to me, yeah. I'm going to do it to you.
Nice lead, looping hook.
Each of these fighters has supreme confidence in their skill.
Oh, huge shot over the top into the takedown from Kubanychbek, and this is where he really flourishes. This is where he does his best work. This is where he is at his most formidable and dangerous.
Was in a high crotch. It was denied the first time. It looks like it was the second time as well.
Nice work from Eskaraev to defend the takedown. I did see him in the workout room working a lot of get-ups, working a lot of takedown defense with his training partners.
Very wise man, and that was a very wise elbow to the forehead from Omak.
Great head positioning now. It's these subtle little things that Kubanychbek does that belie that he is such a good fighter. There it is. But Eskaraev again getting right back up to his feet, or at least attempting to do so, doing the right things, pressuring the head, hoping where the head goes, the body follows, and Kubanychbek may be cut over the eye here.
Kubanychbek is cut over the eye. I did not see an elbow land. It may have been one of those shots a little bit earlier in the fight. It's also possible there was a cut during training and it opened up. Another strong possibility is an accidental clash of heads. This is all conjecture, though. I didn't see it land.
Doesn't seem to be a massive impediment over the eye right now. It seems to be more to the side.
Excellent giraffe fighting from Omak. The use of that head is so important. The head becomes a third hand if it's used properly. Denies the opponent the full use of his core. Eskaraev, very wisely, I think, separates.
Oh, that cut is just above the eye, actually. If Eskaraev can zero in on that, I'd love to see if we can possibly replay of where that cut happened, where it opened up. The doctors will surely be in the in between rounds to get a look at that. Nice head kick coming from the southpaw. Elias needs to be wary of leaning in when he throws that looping hook. Again, the takedown from Kubanychbek.
Phil, Omak is fighting with a little bit more vigor. He may be worried about that cut.
10 seconds.
One hook's in.
Yeah. Closing stances of the round, but nice work by Eskaraev. Finishes the round on top in the eyes of the judges.
All right, call it, Phil. Who'd you like to see by our opponents? Could have gone either way. But all in all, very good showing by both fighters. The big worry, of course, is that cut.
Oh, there it was, Kerrick. There was
accidental clash
of heads. Just skimmed one another as Kubanychbek was the one who was initiating the takedown.
Thanks to our great production team here for finding that, putting that in front of us. Tight ship. Round 2 just about to start. Little glove touch, sign of mutual respect.
If you're Eskaraev, do you try and zero in on that eye, try and open that up a little bit more, make it bleed into
the eye? You sure do, and before you do that, you try and get him to think about something else. Get him to think you're trying to kick him in the legs, level change, make him think you want to get in his hips, and then bang him right in that cut.
Nice movement from Eskaraev. Oh, huge uppercut.
Dazzling shot.
Oh, he's hurt.
Dazzling shot, Phil.
Kubanychbek trying to get it done early in the second round here. Landed 2 big shots. Kubanychbek trying to take the back. He's very high up right now.
He's well out of position to throw big shots. He does have a figure 4 now.
Eskaraev doing everything he can to try and turn in, but then, again, that illustrates just how dangerous Kubanychbek, something out of nothing.
Brave Nation, this figure 4 position, those locked legs around the torso is the most miserable form of control there is. The ribs can hurt. It's very difficult to inhale. And of course, the opponent can threaten you with a submission or further strikes.
But Eskaraev doing a great job of turning those hips in towards Kubanychbek.
Oh yes, Eskaraev is a beast.
Triangle attempt. Eskaraev really is something different, isn't he? Got rocked, got put on his backside, now finds himself.
Triangle's getting close.
Got
to get that foot underneath the knee and then twist the body a little bit so the two bodies are not lined up. But it's getting close. That foot is now getting. Now you got to get the knee to the ankle rather than towards the toes.
He's in.
We've now got the angle between the bodies is formed.
It's pressure on his foot as opposed to the shin being locked.
Got to get the ankle rather than the toe part underneath that knee, and that doesn't sound like much. Believe me, it's much.
Switches to the armbar. Oh, and Eskaraev is out. Fantastic ability to wait it out, to defend by Eskaraev. And right back up on the feet now. Oh, beautiful short elbow by Kubanychbek.
Phil, Eskaraev was in a submission hold in his mind right now. He wants to put his opponent in one.
Tight against the cage, and oh yes, Eskaraev proving that he deserves his spot here to contend for the interim lightweight championship. Kubanychbek consistently proving what we all know, and that's that he is a very dangerous man. Takedown from Kubanychbek.
Excellent top game. making every inch his opponent moves sap a little bit more energy, throwing some shots to the head, threatening a hook. Got one in place. Opponent is now forced to keep that hip pressed up against the fence, trying to keep the other hook from going in. We got a leg grapevine briefly.
Going to switch to the body triangle, it seems, has that leg flush across the hip line.
100 seconds to go.
Switch, there it is, the body triangle is in.
Kubanychbek now very wisely looking for the underhook from the back, trying to prevent his opponent from turning in, as we saw the last time. Eskaraev manages to turn in for the second time. Brave Nation, that is extraordinarily hard to do from that back figure four.
And now he's in the position to land ground and pound to try and open up that cut above the eye of Kubanychbek. But Kubanychbek throwing shots and elbows from the bottom, feet on the hips, trying to create distance. Oh, Eskaraev, in his haste to try and get in on Kubanychbek, has left a little pocket of space here. Kubanychbek slowly, methodically, looking like he's working his way to take the back here, snaking that arm underneath the chin, but Eskaraev is so game.
Every time I think Eskaraev is in supreme danger, somehow seconds later he's not.
And we keep talking about how tough he is. He's also doing everything right technically. He's turning into Kubanychbek, he's negating the legs, he's defending the chokes. Not just tough, but also an incredibly intelligent fighter.
Absolutely, Phil. Not just tough, because were it solely toughness, it wouldn't work. Kubanychbek hits too hard. Anybody who their biggest part of their game is that they're a game fighter, that they're really tough, they're not going to beat this man.
Again in that back tick.
In, and second round ends. I think it probably would have ended right there. He opted instead to switch to a wrestling game. Opponent was able to keep going. There it is. Look at that. And there was a follow-up. Boom! Drops his opponent again. Third shot. Absolutely phenomenal. Perfect shot on the temple. Little left, little right, and then what I believe was a mistaken decision. Just stood right up.
Touch of gloves, respect shown by both men. Who wants it more?
Interesting, going back to the body again. May feel his opponent is tiring a little bit, or he may be trying to set up a shot to the head.
My mistake, ladies and gentlemen, I misspoke saying this was the third and final round. Obviously, it being a championship fight, we have 5 minute rounds. I just get so carried away, Carrick, because I enjoy the fights.
These are phenomenal fights. It's interesting, Phil. Kubanychbek, in this, the third round now, seems to be getting a little bit stronger. He may be emotionally buoyed by having, we believe, won that second round, but his conditioning may be so extraordinary that he's basically just going into a second win right now.
Well, as we've seen, Kubanychbek can maintain a pace unheralded in mixed martial arts and put that pace on his opponents. Big flare double.
Eskaraev, in terms of conditioning, maybe fading just a little bit. Kubanychbek, anything but.
It may be a strange thing to say, but the fighting style of Kubanychbek may lend itself better to these championship rounds.
Yeah, he's a grinder. He's going to tire you out. He's going to hit you. Take a submission if it's there. Standing up with Kubanychbek on your back is a very, very tough prospect. He's probably going to take your back, probably going to slam you down again. Eskaraev very wisely has his back up against that fence, wants to keep it. Going for a key lock, probably not what he wants to do right here. Again, Brave Nation, those shots to the head you're seeing, they appear to be little, and they're not fight enders, but they're miserable. This is causing damage.
Oh, big shot right down the pipe from Kubanychbek. Oh, now elbows turning up the frequency.
Elbow coming.
Big shots by Kubanychbek. And again, it's really been a story of survival so far in the opening stanzas of this third round for Eskaraev. He's being ragdolled right now by Kubanychbek.
Kubanychbek playing a top game that's smothering, keeping his opponent crunched forwards. The abdomen can't fully expand. Fighter can't breathe, making the fighter carry her weights. The legs get heavy, throwing constant shots, both to remind the judges who's winning this and to cause pain. And then you stand up, your heart starts to beat. You think you're out, boom, put right back on the ground again. It's heartbreaking.
Momentarily, Eskaraev managed to get to his feet, but now he's back down, eating shots from Kubanychbek. Trying to get that hook in, establish that. One hook, two hooks. Eskaraev needs to do everything he can to try and turn in towards Kubanychbek.
Be interesting to see if Kubanychbek goes back to that figure four, that triangle on the body, which actually failed him twice. There he is, but this time he's got that leg lace.
Yeah, he hooks the insole of his foot, the back of the thigh of Eskaraev. Very intelligent work.
Now got significantly better control than he did before.
Oh,
we've got danger, Phil.
He is underneath the chin, but Eskaraev is able to defend. Momentarily there, he looked like he was in trouble. Eskaraev needs to roll to the side that the triangle is locked on to alleviate some of that pressure. So he needs to roll to the opposite side. Again, still throwing punches from that position is Eskaraev. A minute left with which to work for Kubanychbek.
Short time now, Brave Nation. Fight is likely to play out with what we've seen here. Eskaraev, very gamely, trying to throw some shots. Very hard to get leverage when your opponent has you in back mount. That back body triangle is the very definition of misery in this sport.
But he is doing a good job of not remaining static, not just accepting the position and letting the inevitable happen, because sometimes a position like this will break a fighter's will, where he'll put himself in the choke just to get out of the fight.
Brave Nation, you'll know that happens if you see the chin lift ever so slightly. 1 or 2 centimeters, chin comes up, means the fighter doesn't want to be here. That is emphatically not the case here. Eskaraev turns around, round ends. It's very difficult to communicate how tough these championship rounds are.
But both men look pretty fresh. Both men still look in shape and ready to go. Neither wilting, neither relenting, neither giving space. You always just feel that Kubanychbek is waiting for something.
Olyas is slowed just slightly.
Understandably so. Kubanychbek just pressing forward, showing the right hand.
Kubanychbek distance managing that very effectively.
Oh, beautiful uppercut again. Landed more so on the gloves, but the threat of it is there.
Next shot that lands with the hands is likely to be followed up.
Oh, another shot. Little clash of heads again there, but oh, big shot over the top.
At this point, Omach does not want to start wrestling.
No,
he does not want to start wrestling. He wants to keep striking.
He's doing the right thing, maintaining distance. Big elbow again.
Eskaraev calls his opponent in, but he's unsteady on his feet.
Oh, beautiful uppercut again, and this is the more calculated approach that we called for at the beginning of the broadcast, picking the shots, not just ferocity for the sake of it, but controlled, calculated aggression.
Omach has a long time left in this round. He is planning to finish this fight in this round, Brave Nation.
Oh, elbows to the side of the dome from Kubanychbek.
Kubanychbek has a very clear runway to land now.
Has that wrist control, which is opening up the space for him, exposing the head of Eskaraev. And he doesn't need to land knockout punches here. He just needs to land frequency high shots. Eskaraev, much to his credit, is trying everything he can to keep himself in this fight.
Kubanychbek trying to pull his opponent away slightly so that he can sink down into mount, as you've seen there. The horrible thing about fighting Omak is you're getting punched in the face no matter what happens. Positions partway there, punch in the face. Positions all the way there, punch in the face. Omak got a little high, beautiful reversal.
Full half of a round. Slightly paradoxical to say a full half of a round, but you know what I mean, Brave Nation. Half of a round left, trapping the arm. This would be absolutely huge if Eskaraev were to pull off the victory here. Thinking about switching to that stretch. Both of these guys are toughness incarnate, but Kubanychbek sneaks out.
Feel like I could barely breathe there. That was an absolutely unbelievable moment.
Again, the tension is absolutely palpable here. The Uzbek fans are on the edge of their seat.
Brave Nation, we are in Uzbekistan. This is a wrestling culture. It is a combat sports culture. These fight fans know exactly what they're seeing, and they are deeply appreciative.
Nice shot to the midsection from Kubanychbek. Just sidestep his way to back.
Looking maybe for a one-on-one, use that leverage to bring the opponent back.
May lace up the legs here, may even just try and run it out to get into the fifth round. I think he may be feeling Eskaraev start to tire, which was slightly, which...
Legs are shelved now. Eskaraev trying to work that leg out without sacrificing the arms he's using to protect his head.
As the hands connected, and he's just forcing Eskaraev to carry his weight. Referee Dick Larkin calling for a little bit more action. And he gets it.
He's getting a little bit more action. Short time now, Brave Nation. Down to the last few seconds. Nope.
As you alluded to, Kerry, the corner of Eskaraev has to be telling him you need to go out there, give it everything you've got. With your shield or on your sword kind of approach. He needs to finish if he wants to be crowned the interim lightweight champion of the world. On the transfers of that, just tell Kubanychbek if you're in his corner to adopt the same approach, keep things smart, maintain your positional dominance, your positional control, land your shots and shoot an opportunity present itself to you.
From interim glory.
For the final time tonight, these fighters embrace in the middle of the cage. 5 minutes to dictate who we will crown the interim lightweight champion of the world, setting himself up for an inevitable collision course with our champion Ahmed Amir. Takedown attempt, takedown scored by Eskaraev.
Eskaraev now needs to get past those legs. He needs to pass that guard. Ground and pound, not likely to win him this fight.
No, he needs to go to work from here.
Kubanychbek, happy to be here, trying to set up the beginnings of a triangle choke right now.
Smart with the bicep control as opposed to wrist control.
Wrist control often indicates what you're going to do. That bicep control could be misinterpreted as being purely defensive. As you said, Phil, very smart technical move there.
Eskaraev really needs to square off the hips, needs to be wary, getting his back taken again here. There it is, the back take. From being inside the guard to the back take, that is the MMA intellect of Abdisalam Kubanychbek.
Body triangle's in place, leg is laced. Going to be very, very hard for Ilyas Eskaraev to get out of here. He has successfully any number of times now. He definitely has it in him.
But quite simply, Kirik, survival is not enough for him to take the win and indeed the championship.
Kubanychbek now appears intent on securing a submission. He's throwing some little shots to the face, not to win favor with the judges, but to try and get his opponent to make a little mistake. Right now, Eskaraev is not. He's driving back. Brave Nation, if there's a little bit of space between your hips and your opponent's back, it's fairly easy, relatively easy to get that choke in. When the opponent is right tight up against you, head almost even with yours, it's very, you lack the leverage to get your full strength behind that choke, behind that squeeze.
He's doing everything he can to sneak it in. But Eskaraev, it's incredible that Eskaraev, potentially, if it continues this way and he loses the fight, he has enhanced his reputation on the international stage. Undoubtedly so.
Absolutely no question in my mind. Win, lose, or draw, I want to see Ilyas Eskaraev again and soon.
More so defensive.
Again, Brave Nation, when the fighter who has his back taken, has his head up nice and high, very close to his opponent's head, very hard to get the choke in.
Half Nelson momentarily by Kubanychbek.
Kubanychbek has a mighty squeeze. He can go from...
Oh, Eskaraev once again turns in to Kubanychbek. This is incredible stuff.
Absolutely fantastic show of fortitude and technique.
But right now he has 1 minute 35 seconds with which to work, with which to finish Kubanychbek, with which to become the interim lightweight champion of the world. Can he do it?
He cannot do it inside his opponent's closed guard.
Needs to roll those wrists inside to free them up. There's one. But Kubanychbek surely knows that all he needs to do is hold on in this situation.
He may know it, but riding out a W is not his style. He's going to dance with the gal that brung him. And that was being a very aggressive fighter, aggressive wrestler, aggressive kicker, aggressive striker, aggressive with his submissions.
But both these fighters showing that they are absolute cardio machines.
Kubanychbek opened those feet. He could have stayed inside it. Now he's looking for a submission. At the beginnings of a key lock. He released it, but he's going to be looking for something else.
Oh, transition into side control from Eskaraev.
Very impressive.
Really needs to go to work with elbows or something here. Again, Kubanychbek is just so smart, knowing exactly what he needs to do to shut down the offense of Eskaraev, to prevent him from landing those big strikes. Such intelligent work from Abdisalam Kubanychbek.
Very, very short time, Brave Nation.
There we
have
it.
That final beautiful gong.
Brave Nation, what an incredible main event we had here. Give it up for both of these warriors in an amazing main event. After 5 rounds, we got the judges' scorecards. All 3 judges scored about a unanimous decision victory. And new Brave Combat Federation interim lightweight champion, Abdisalam Kubanychbek.